What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We are back with another impromptu live. We weren't going to do another live until Friday, but one of the scenarios that we went on into our private group in the Hive and talked about last night played out. And we want to go over that because, all the Hivers got that information first and they were prepared for a potential Bitcoin breakout today. So now the question remains, is this a true breakout? How will we know? And what, if any, clues do we have from history to tell us how long we may stay in this range, whether or not it's real? And do we have anything to base this off of? Are there any other previous points in history where this happened and we either broke down or we broke up? We're going to go over that today, including a timeline. So very, very important information. Again, another blueprint for the next weeks to months of the market, right? Like what could potentially play out. So it's really, really cool that Rob nailed it in the live last night. As soon as we got off the YouTube and went into the Hive and the Telegram, showed us some really interesting scenarios. So we were ready for that Bitcoin breakout potential today. And a lot of members rode that wave. So congrats to everybody who absolutely crushed it. We're going to be going over now just exactly how long we may stay up here and whether or not this breakout seems or that it could be real. All right. That's number one. And number two, if it's not real, what's happening next? Does history have any sort of clues we can look to? So we'll give you the bull and the bear case scenario, as well as altcoins. Is this altcoin pump real? Will this last, or will we get rejected at a certain level that nobody is actually looking at? So these are pieces of the puzzle and clues we like to give you on this channel because we're giving you all the alpha, all the juice to our early supporters of the Hive. We want to make it the biggest buzzing Hive, trading Hive on the internet. Lots in store for this year, guys. So yeah, we're very, very excited to bring that to you. So again, I'll go over how to get into the group at the end before we jump on into the group, but the link is in the description below. And you will get a $100 bonus for any deposit. You just have to transfer that to your futures account. Okay, so you get a trading, basically a trading tuition. Okay, it's a no-brainer. Now, back to all things news, war, what has been happening? It seems like every day something new comes out. Today, actually, we got the news that Turkey has been targeted, which is now coming closer to my home than comfort, right? And we had news that they were going after bases in Cyprus because the UK has bases there, and also that Trump is sort of at odds with Spain because our president did not want to let the US jets take off and cut their fuel and all that. We have a massive base here in Spain for Americans. And so, yeah, we're having all sort of different problems, I guess you could say. But what is the major, most pressing problem right now, besides the next huge wave that Trump warned about and the evacuation orders, suggestions given to all Americans and many other nationalities in some of these affected places, is the Strait of Hormuz and the oil. That is a big, big topic, right? So the last we heard is that President Trump is ordering U.S. Navy to escort the oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz if necessary to ensure the free flow of energy, because this energy blockage could cause a pretty big crisis in Europe and across the world, right? So, so in the meantime, we've got all these crazy war things or conflict things going on in the background, and we have this incredibly bullish news for crypto happening at the same time. So it's sort of like, as the bear market is soon to be bottoming, if history has anything to say about it, we're getting all of these bullish, like fundamentally bullish things, right? President Trump calls for Congress to pass crypto market structure legislation. And he says, we are not going to allow banks to undermine our powerful crypto agenda. So he's on the side of the crypto and trying to get the banks to comply. So President Trump warns the crypto industry will end up going to China if banks don't stop undermining crypto market structure bill. So that's pretty interesting, because in the WEF in Davos, I think somebody said, Brian Armstrong from Coinbase said that the banks were blocking, this whole thing from happening. And I think it was Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan told him, like, stop effing around, or, who are you effing kidding? It was really, really crazy. I mean, just like things were unhinged at the WEF. Okay, so there's a lot of tension there. The bankers have a lot to lose, let's face it, or at least they believe so, because they don't fully understand how they could get a piece of this pie and how everybody could be happy. So CTFC Chair Mike Selig says crypto market structure legislation must pass. It's critical. We have a future-proof digital asset market structure in place. All right. So we've got all this bullish news. I want to go over one more piece of bullish news that is absolutely astonishing, right? Kraken becomes the first crypto exchange to gain access to the Federal Reserve's core payment systems. That is huge. Crypto is getting integrated on the deepest levels of the government and of society. And, you know, if there's any doubt in your mind that this is here to stay, just making it to that sort of level is insane, right? So, and just the fact that, you know, crypto, gold and silver lost the entire market cap of crypto in a day, and they're still fine. It just shows how nascent and how young and early we are in this asset. Even if you don't feel like that, we're still at around 4% adoption. So technically, we're still in the early adopter scale. So don't get disheartened. This is a phenomenal opportunity, just as all market crashes like this in bear markets, right? So that's how I'm playing it, and that's how I'm seeing it. Michael Saylor says we can buy more Bitcoin than they can sell because they bought more Bitcoin that was mined on the day they bought. So that's another fun fact. There's one interesting stat here that says that the South Korean stock market halted after 8% crash triggered a circuit breaker. So the Dubai stock market also crashed, well, for obvious reasons, right? Because it's being attacked right now. But South Korea was a very interesting one. And actually, I'll just throw a picture up here on the screen of this if I can find it. Just so you guys can see, like, things are kind of nuts in the world right now. So why South Korea? But we have very, very interesting data about this crash, and it could give us some insight as to other crashes that are happening, right? So I don't know if I have this right at the moment. Maybe it's here. 2141, let's see. I believe it's this. Yeah. Okay, so South Korea. So check that out, guys. Just crashed 8%. 8%. Okay, why? So I have some interesting data on this. And first things first, global markets are taking big hits. The South Korea stock market is leading the charge, a massive blow off top, and down 20% in just 3 days. All right, so it's on track for its biggest 2-day crash since the 2008 financial crisis. Yet we have some interesting data from the Kobeissi letter, which I find to be like a very telling about the economy in itself. And it says South Korean retail investor appetite has never been stronger. Active stock traders accounts in South Korea rose to 102 million last week, and the number of accounts has doubled over the past 5 years. In February alone, 1.5 million new accounts were opened. So furthermore, margin loan balance is up to a record 21.8 billion. All right, so basically what this says is retail investors are buying the dip in South Korea. Will they be buying the dip in crypto? Will they be buying the dip in the US stock exchange? That's just some interesting data, guys. Like, it doesn't seem to be like mass fear in the market right now. There seems like more of an appetite to buy the dip. So does that mean we're going to go much lower? We're about to check that out with Rob now. So we'll also have a look at the clip from yesterday's video. Before I go on, one thing in the war that's sort of concerning and brings, it sort of comes up in topic, right? Iran, I know that a lot of people are protesting. There's no freedom of speech. There's no freedom to express yourself, right? And Dubai. So I'm just reporting what's been put on X, right? So Dubai came out and said, hey, the UAE Attorney General has officially ordered X accounts blocked and access restricted across the country. The list is much larger and growing rapidly, now even targeting well-known news sites, right? So it really just calls into question the fundamental right of speech and to report and to give your opinion on things, right? And although they're handling things phenomenally, it seems, with the military and all of that region, this is just an interesting list. And so I know a lot of influencers and crypto influencers that, you know, report regularly here, and some that are friends of mine are on this list. And it really does call that into question. And a lot of these things are coming to light in the world now. So I think that it's a very interesting crossroads for so many reasons. And that's why it's not going to be a bed of roses to walk through. But I believe that at the other end of this, there is going to be a very, very bright light at the end of the tunnel, and especially for crypto guys. So hang in there, hang in there. And, you know, to everybody affected, our heart goes out to you. But we do want to report on the charts right now, okay? Like, in relation to everything, is this conflict actually what's fueling Bitcoin's pump? Like, is it finally the safe haven asset that we all thought it should be and know it should be? Or is this sort of going to turn out to be like a bull trap, right? Like, so let's have a look at that. Jeannie, what's up? You're the real one. Happy Wednesday from the Hive. Watchman, how's it going? It's been a while. I love those emojis. They just make me happy every time I look at it. Crazy times. We will recover. So that is something that I've been saying on this channel, even on the, you know, news of war breaking out, like when Russia went into Ukraine, we got a massive drop and we recovered very, very strongly. And now it seems that, we have a very specific scenario in play that we're going to go over here on the show or for all of you for free. And then we're going to finish up in our private group in the Hive. Okay. So you want to jump down on there into the link in the description and get into our Telegram group. Guys, our VIP trading group are 500 members plus strong, and we'll be continuing there after the show. But without further ado, Rob, how's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. How are you doing?
Who's that? Do we have another spirit animal with us today? She seems very calm and unfazed.
Oh, she is very sleepy. She just woke up and crawled on my lap and just like, what are you doing, Dad?
Oh, she's adorable. How many of you have dogs in the comments? Let us know, or cats or animals. This one is just so cute. She is definitely our spirit animal here in the Hive. And I haven't seen Dalmatians in quite a long time.
Yeah, she's a good girl. She just likes to hang out, and everybody says they're really active and hyper. She'll chill out. She loves to play, of course, and then if you want to chill and lay down, she'll sit there and cuddle with you all day long as well too. She just matches your vibe.
I like that. Matching the vibe. That's pretty cool. I like her. Pretty, like the 101 Dalmatians.
Yep. You're gonna say hi to everybody.
Hi, Pretty. Do you know what's happening with Bitcoin next? Can you give us some hints?
Just buy the dip. No.
And buy the dip. That's it. Buy the dip. It makes you sick.
That's right. All right. Yeah. So where are we going to go start off next? We're going to start off on some charts, or we're going to go off on what we went over in group on yesterday?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to play a quick clip for you guys who missed our live in the group yesterday. Rob actually went over exactly what happened, and he also went over what we're going to go over right now on YouTube for free for all of you to follow along. Okay, so that was basically the possible scenario of us breaking to the upside, and the levels mapped out based on the bearish fair hold on. Let me put this video out. Yeah, fair value gaps. But I also have another video that shows exactly the timeline of, how long this may take based on history and what happened in history. But we'll go over that again just here on the YouTube. Let me play this clip for you without further ado.
No orders there or anything. That's kind of waiting or something like that. So if we don't get up there and we just break down, we work with it that way. But if we do it up there and just kiss it and kind of fall down here and make kind of like a choppy, that at that time it'll be more looking like a bearish flag type of deal, kind of going like that. That's another type of bear flag. So there's multiple bear flags you can print. So right now it's in the pendant area, or it's going to go up into like a rising channel type flag. Both of them measure move. So I'll just change the measured move a little bit by taking it going like this and moving that a little bit up to the upside or something. The measured move that we made off the flagpole. And that is I think this is very key here. If we do kind of go up here, if you pay attention to that and get rejected from there, and then we make our further move to the downside. Now,
right. So I just wanted you guys to see that we did talk about this in group, and we did let people know that it was a potential that we got up to that bearish fair value gap, right, on the 3-day chart. And right, is that what we were looking at? That's the time frame. And so we did get up there, guys. We got all the way up there, and that is pretty astonishing because nobody else was expecting that, right? They're expecting a dump. So we predicted that move based on, probabilities and also things that we looked at in the group. I don't know if you want to go over that again, Rob, about just exactly, what you saw that made you think that this could happen and how long we could spend in this area.
Yeah, we can go ahead and go over and do that. Let's go ahead and pull up the screen.
Let's do it.
Right. So, yeah, I'm looking at River right now. I'm looking at a potential short opportunity in River. We actually nailed this on long in the group as well, too. Now we're coming up and we have a bearish for a value gap. We're going to try nailing a short on it. So, hey, there's an altcoin on that setup that we're looking at.
And that will be going over in the group right now after this live, guys. So if you want to see River mapped out in real time, you got to jump in the group.
Oh, right. So what we were looking at is getting up to this 3-day bearish for a value gap, which we are in it right now. We got up to the center, wicked up above it just by a little bit. So very, very good for us. It's not the 3-day chart. There it is, 3-day chart right here. So we got up into there. We did up in one straight candle. So very good. And this is where I'm going to go back in history a little bit and showed last time we had this happen was right back in here. So I already have my orange lines over here. And this was, let's go ahead and turn on the SMA 50 and 200. So there's a fair value gap right here. And you can't see that unless you use your replay mode, which we went over in group as well too. And you can see how we had a fair value gap up here, and we had a nice big green candle. We came up and kissed it right here. So we had this idea as a potential right here. And whenever you sit there and watch this play out, we didn't have a good drop. And we've been talking about a nice big drop after the 3-day death cross. And you can look right here at the time frame that we're in. Let's just go ahead and circle that. So right here, we got our 3-day death cross, and that comes straight down to this area. We went sideways for a little bit, climb up, and kiss this fair value gap, and we broke the 3-day 9. We held it for 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we hold it for any longer. So on our 4th day, we actually broke down on it. And these are 3-day candles. So you got to think of that. That's after today's close, you have 1, 2, 3. That's 9. So 3 times 9 equals, or 3 times 3. Tighten. So that's 3-day candles there. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that gives you that kind of time process right there, how long we may be going sideways. Sorry, my son was yelling for something that was confusing me. And so that's how long we might sit there and spend up into a range up in this area as of now. So we're taking that same idea. We might be going into some sort of range as of right now. Now, after today's close is the 3-day close as well too. Let's just go ahead and get out of this. So we have potentially a time where we may spend a little bit of time up in this area up here. We may range sideways. And why we range sideways up in this area, people want to be extremely bullish because we're holding up above 70 or something like that. That's probably going to flip people bullish for a little bit. And we may get some alts runs as well too. So we're going to be looking at some more subs and group as well too for longs. And there are going to be more day trades and maybe 2-day swing trades or something like that. Nothing crazy or huge, because once we lose, we're going to be breaking the 9 here. We'll be going sideways for a little bit. And if we lose that 9 again, that's whenever we're going to be looking for a potential big spillover into Bitcoin, and we might be set up for new good short opportunities. Now, in this area here is a good zone to maybe potentially build your short opportunity on your Bitcoin while we're trading long alts as well too.
Right. So if they are going to start building their entries, where would be a good place to put a stop? What would you suggest, Rob? Just basic TA for those who aren't in the group yet.
So for building a short on this one here, you're going to want your stop loss to be at least above the 3-day fair value gap because your entries are all here. And then I would just sit there and at least say, like, let's see what the percentage difference is, depending on how much leverage you're using in capital. Give yourself a little bit of room to breathe of like at least 3-4%. And then if you get stopped out and it goes back in the process, and you can get right back in. And also another thing I just kind of realized, I just noticed it right now. We are looking at the SMA 50 is going up here. We could have a potential golden smack upcoming as well too. So if we keep pushing up, I'll be looking for a golden slap ID as well too.
That golden slap, guys, you guys know, if you know, you know, it's in the course. So people don't expect that. And when it happens, we've been able to catch that quite a few times in the group because of Rob's technique there, right? So, and the teachings.
So I'm going to go ahead and go over my bearish scenario right now that I have on altcoins, because this is the only thing that's kind of like, I'm being very cautious on my altcoins. I'm still being we're going to use strict risk management on all of our trade setups in group as well too. We got to make sure that we have our stops in place just because I believe that we might go sideways up here for a little bit, and that can make alts run, get everybody kind of bullish because some things are popping, some things are just, Bitcoin's been moving more than most of the alts right now. And I'm going to go ahead and go into that real quick. So I keep track of all the, let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. So I kind of keep track of every single day I look at a picture of the RSI heat map. Let's go ahead and make it bigger. And I always sit there and look at how much the average RSI is on alts. So like today we're at 54. Let me see here. Yesterday we were at 46. Before that, 45, 49, 40. So I have this every single day. I look at this. And the one thing that I noticed during this bear market, anytime we get between 50 and 60, alts sell off every single time so far this bear market. Will the same thing happen again? I have no idea, but we are in that area of 54 right now, to where every time I go up in this area and everything started looking really bullish. It's happened multiple times this bear market so far. And everyone's like, all right, are we going to have some kind of good rally going on for this bear market before we roll over? Then at this time in the RSI, it gets maybe a little bit higher, 57. Then we just roll over in alts and they just make new lows. So it is going to be critical to manage risk very well and be very safe on our trades.
Right. Okay. So just to recap that for all of you who are just tuning in, Bitcoin, these are the ranges that we're looking at here, up to 74,700 level to fill up that 3-day bearish fair value gap, okay, before we potentially head back down. But history shows that we may spend 3-day candles there, or approximately 9 days of potential bullish action for altcoins, and also Bitcoin to sort of just float around in this range where everybody starts to think maybe we're bullish and maybe we're going up a lot higher, right? And right in that moment in history is when it's sort of rolled over and then gone all the way back down, right? So maybe that could be our next leg down if that does happen. That's what we're looking at for altcoins. Rob, we're looking at what, 57 on the RSI on what time frame?
On this right here, or on this one over here?
Basically, there's a certain level that altcoins always get rejected from on the RSI, or they have been recently.
50 and 60. We're at 54 right now, and this is the RSI heat map for majority of the altcoins right here. So it's just an average of all the altcoins where they're all at RSI.
Right. Yeah. So that's what we're looking at, guys. Like, don't get too comfortable, I guess I should say, because historically or recently, when they've reached this level in the mid 50s, they've just sort of rolled over. So we might get some bullish action for the next week or so, right? Up to 9 days. But just pay attention to this, because this has been what's been smacking them down lately, those altcoins. So that's sort of what we're looking at for Bitcoin and altcoins in the near future, right?
Yep. So, I mean, right now is a very important time just to be ready for whatever happens, be ready to execute whichever way. Sadly, I missed the Bitcoin long when it broke out, because it happened while I was sleeping. Like, I woke up, I'm like, what is going on? And I also woke up late, so I didn't get to sit there and make any trades on it. But I think some people nailed some moves in the group as well, too. And it's just one of those things. We were expecting to go, we had an expectation of it getting up and filling up this fair value gap that we're in. And now we're here. So it's like, all right, what do I got to do next? What do I got to wait for next? Sometimes you don't get every single move when you're trading it, but having that expectation made us manage risk really well and just be ready for whatever was going to happen. And it wasn't a surprise. It's always better when things aren't a surprise. Like, all right, well, we're going up and we're filling up that fair value gap. Awesome. That's what we wanted.
Right. Actually, absolutely. So that's what we're looking at, guys. Shall we give them one altcoin, or should we head right into the group, Rob?
As of right now, I don't really have a great. Let's go over the river one, since we talked about that in the beginning.
All right, you guys get a gem now right here. It's just about ready to get into the buy zone potentially. So those of you who are watching, you're in for a real treat. And if you want to see the rest of the setups, you got to get in the group. The link is in the description below to our VIP Telegram group, guys. So while he's bringing that up, you'll just be prompted to go to our bot to get into the group. All you have to do is sign up for BYDFI, no KYC necessary. And then you will copy and paste your user ID, and then you'll be in the group, and then you'll get your $100 for any bonus. Okay. So do not skip that. You've got to get in there in order to take advantage of all this in real time.
Yep. So River, we actually bought it down here and we rode it all the way up here. We got 76% gains on a long on it. And now that we Bitcoin's kind of at the top and we're looking for like a started range and Bitcoin may be pulling back, we're actually going to be looking for a potential short on River. Right now we filled up a fair value gap, but we're still have this bearish order block in here as well too. And we're potentially looking at a golden slap on this as well too. So you look at the 4-hour chart, we got the SMA 50 going up over the 200. So we might get up in here. We might get up in here and we do go. Hang on 1 second, please.
All right. So you guys, everybody who's watching, if you want to see how we're planning on getting into this setup and other setups, you have got to get in the group. Okay. If you're having any troubles, you can DM myself or Rob. I am going to put my username here in the YouTube comments. For all of you who are watching on, this is my Telegram. For all those who are watching on X, the link is in my description, in my bio, okay? So it is also, I posted in the chat and everything. You guys got to take advantage while it's still free, because it will be paid very, very soon. And we are paying attention to volume for people who want to stay in for free. So real quick, shout out to Jeannie. Wow, 1 dog, 3 cats, 2 kids, and a husband. That is a lot of people to take care of, Jeannie. And you're still crushing it in the group. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Guys, if Jeannie can master this and just like go all in and do what she's doing with the limited time she has, man, anybody, I mean, you're a real inspiration, Jeannie. I'm just going to say that. What's up, Krikra? How's it going? We are just about to finish up our river setup here, and it's a good juicy entry coming up. So let's get back to it. You ready for it, Rob?
Yep, I'm all good to go. So what we're kind of looking at right here. So we did break the 4-hour SMA 9 where I was looking for a bearish retest, and it looks like we're going to be breaking above it. And sometimes you get some kind of fake outs on it, but we are looking at that golden slap area. So we're going to see if we have long wicks up in here showing rejection at this level from right in here, which is a good rejection level as well too, from this zone right here. So there is just it's just a good area where we're going to have a decent retrace to. We're going to be looking to get back down to this area, and here this bullish order block is kind of my target here. That there is going to be a pretty good pullback on it. Now, in group, we'll go more over on how we're going to try to zoom in and nail our entry, of course. We're going to be looking at certain breaks, certain levels, and certain SMAs there. But the idea here is, one, we either lose the 4 hour SMA9, this turns into some kind of long wick, or two, we zoom into a lower time frame, nail our entry, and we're going to nail a entry, and its move should be about 27% down, and retesting this zone right here after the golden slap here. And this is just basically, we did close our longs yesterday's on this one here, and was that yesterday or day before? And now we are flipping short on it. So that is just the setup that we're playing kind of both ways right now. And if it holds this level down here again, we're going to be looking for another. If it holds this bullish order block when we get back down to there, or this fair value gap, we're going to be looking for potentially another long on this as well too, to see if we can push this thing up even higher. Because if we are getting kind of bullish on here, this is starting to print like a bullish structure on it. Let's go ahead and put our trend line right here, so we get a little bit of a pullback. We're looking at a potential like a couple rounded bottoms potentially printing here if that does kind of happen, until we break out and potentially make a bigger move. So if it kind of comes down in this area, goes back up, boom, boom, and hopefully we get a big move on river more to the upside once we pull back into here. So we're just basically trading it both ways.
All right. So there you go, guys. We're taking advantage of the range. And let me just say, it's just been a little bit difficult to trade altcoins this week due to like the uncertainty of the market, but we have been crushing it anyway. A lot of ranges and a lot of just different charts that we've been able to crush it on. So we're still being able to make money even in these kind of market conditions. And we want that for everybody. You can do it even if you don't have a lot of time or you don't want to just stare at charts all day. We're giving you basically the know-how to do this stuff, guys. So you got to jump in the group if you want to actually get the juice on how to zoom in, how to get your entries, exactly where we're getting in, guys. Okay, so if you want to see that, we are about to jump into that live. Unless you have any other things to add to it, Rob?
No, just be patient and look to execute your trade whenever the opportunity is given, and have your alerts set.
Yeah.
Be ready. And keep your head on the swivel. As always, keep your head on the swivel because of everything that's going on right now. Things can change very drastically, very fast at any time.
Yes, that is absolutely true. And I just want to, Jeannie, I really love what you're saying here about your husband being super encouraging. That is so important. And especially for women getting into this space, because there's not a lot of women. So it's nice to have people in your life who encourage you, especially your partner. My partner's been super supportive as well, my husband. So I love that, guys. If you're like wives are interested in this, like, or even if you're a wife and you want your husband to get involved or your friends, whatever, encourage them to do so, because these are life-changing skills. Okay. So best decision I've made joining the group. Well, thank you, Jeannie. We are very honored to have you here in the Hive, and you're really an inspiration to a lot of people. So keep crushing it, guys. On that note, I'm just going to say, link is in the description below. If you're having trouble, you gotta DM us. But on that note, I'm going to say, we'll see you live in the Hive in 5. You like that? 5 minutes. We'll see you in the private group and we'll go over all of our setups. See you there.
See you guys there.